Hi, my name is Sarah Newton and I've been helping young people and their families now for over 15 years. Over the last few years I've immersed myself in the digital world with the intention of discovering what impact technology is having on our family lives. In this video series I'll be sharing with you what I have discovered. So the question I really want us to look at throughout this video series and hopefully answer is today's children, spoilt screenagers with short attention spans and zero social skills, or bright children with revolutionary ways of thinking, interacting and socialising. I love this quote by Dan Tapscott which says, "When you understand the next generation, you understand the future." And this is why we really need to get to grips with who the screenagers are and what that means to us, because if we ignore it, then we are ignoring the future. We're ignoring the future of our young people. We're ignoring the future of where families are going. So it's vitally important that we really get inside their heads, figure out what's going on and support them as much as we can. This generation has been the most researched generation I think that we've ever seen, and they have been given so many names. Generation Y, Generation Z, the Google generation, digital natives, the echo boomers, the screenagers, Generation 2.0, the Millennials, the Alpha generation, the O generation, and I recently saw a new one I hadn't seen before called the Linksters. Now, whatever you want to call this generation is fine. I just still like youth. But I think when it does come to them, I love the word the screenagers, because I think that really describes them. They are a generation that are in front of screens a lot of the time. And it's what that technology has given them. So they're not defined by technology, but what technology has allowed them to do is it's allowed them to get really creative, it's allowed them to get collaborative, and it's allowed them to shift the power slightly in their favour. So let's dig into this generation a little bit more here. So the screenagers. Researchers said that they could spend up to 10 hours a day in front of a screen. To 10 hours a day, that's massive. By the time they're adults, so 21, they will have consumed about 10,000 online hours each. This number is so significant. Firstly, if you've read Malcolm Gladwell's The Outliers, 10,000 hours is what he says it takes to be an expert. So they're leaving at 21, they're experts at something. Also, in the UK, if your child went to school every single day from reception to when they leave in year 11, they will have spent just over 11,000 hours at school. So there's this whole other element of teaching that's going on with our children. So it's almost like two tracks. There's formal education, there's this education that they're getting online. This generation are the most numerous, most affluent, better educated and more ethically diverse generation than ever before. They are also the most wanted generation ever, with the onset of the pill and abortions being very easy and fertility treatment. Most of these children that are actually born nowadays are wanted. And I quite often hear this generation referred to as a dumb generation. They are not. The Flynn effect has seen IQ points raise 3 points per decade. So each decade our children are getting 3 points more intelligent on the IQ test. So they're not dumb by any way, shape or form. But it's not all sort of good news for them. They've got less free time than any children have ever had before. A 38% decrease in unstructured time, which is about 4.5 hours a week. They are the most scheduled generation ever. And lucky or unlucky for them, I don't know, their parents are more involved with them than any other generation. 66% of young people saying that their parents are in touch with their lives. 80% saying that they're have really important talks with their parents, and 94% always trusting their parents to be there. their teachers are more demanding there, and they do get more homework than any other generation that's gone before. And interestingly, this generation are more likely to cite their parents as role models than any celebrity out there, which is also really, really good news for them. They've also been referred to as the young fogies. MTV did some research recently, and this is some of the information that they found. 91% want to find someone right and settle down. 98% are interested in current events and what happens in the rest of the world. 82% feel that a successful career is really important. 62% want to work hard for a nice big house, and 39% want to learn because it broadens their horizons. And MTV did some research and asked children about what their 10 Commandments and 7 deadly habits would be. And here you can see the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt get a good job, thou shalt not rack up whose debts, thou shalt not eat junk food, should get good qualifications, I should settle down, I shall travel, always offer my seat to an elderly or disabled person, I shall work hard, and I shall not litter the streets. That is really not the impression that we are being given of our young people. But this is what they are saying. And also their 7 deadly sins: antisocial behaviour, addiction, bullying, racism, obesity, debt and laziness. And that got me thinking, if this generation were coming across and in surveys showing that they were quite traditionalists in their nature despite of their on-screen exposure, then where could the answers lie in this? So I turned to generational theory, and I'm using the theory here of Howard and Strauss because it just makes sense to me.